The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, welcome everybody. It's the weekly Noyantis Usergroup meeting. Today is Monday, the 29th of October, 2018. Myself and John are here as your hosts. As usual, if anyone's got any queries or questions or problems or ideas, and please feel free to post a question, raise your hand, we'll get the mics open and we'll cover the content. Now, I think we've already got a couple of questions already in from email. Let me just open up the questions box and see if anybody's already typing away. No, not yet. Okay, well, we'll just give everybody a chance to get busy on their keyboards. There's no big updates been released for the last couple of weeks. CodeJock have actually released 18.6, so there will be a new update to the templates coming out imminently. There should be no problem with actually utilising 18.6 in your version you've got now, but you'd have to use the specify option. But of course, that would stop you using the reg-free com, which of course you don't want to do. So the next updates will of course cover that, and you'll just be able to select that particular version as normal going forward. Okay, questions? Anybody? I think Conchi had one, but there's no question typed in yet. Let me have a quick look at the emails while we're just waiting for everybody. Okay, so what I'm thinking, Mark, I'll just see if you've got a microphone open. Hi, Mark.
Hey, how you doing, Andy?
Yes, not bad yourself?
Good, thanks, good.
Very good. So I could get loads of emails, as you can imagine. You sent an email in regarding the settings for Chilkat.
Right.
And the QuickBooks.
Yeah, I did download the demo for it, and I do have a developer account with Intuit.
Okay.
I'm waiting to make the purchase, but I know that I watched one of your previous webinars on your connecting to an account. That would be kind of a nice refresher if it wouldn't bore others. But yeah, I'm going to move forward with the Chilkat and integrate it with my app probably within the next week or so.
Okay. Well, we'll quickly cover it now. If you remember the particular webinar, it was I don't know, maybe 6-8 weeks ago, something like that. And I made a right hash of it, if you want the truth, because I forgot a couple of the settings. So let's see if we can do a better job today.
Okay, cool, thanks.
So here's one I prepared earlier. I've been doing a few things here in the background for both Chilkat and for QuickBooks and for Xero. Now, this particular one is a particular solution where the output from the software needs to talk to the online accounting, but we're not tying it to just one accounts package. It could be QuickBooks, it could be Xero. We're also going to support MYOB and Sage 1, although I think they're rebranding it at the moment. But the idea is one standard interface, and then that goes off to many different accounting packages depending on the client's requirements. So that's just an idea for you, which of course you'll be able to offer that and achieve that with the toolset, of course.
Right. You mentioned Sage. That sounds familiar. My son works for American Express, and a lot of their clients, he's saying if there was just a utility to go import, export credit card transactions, that's kind of an idea. But he mentioned that product Sage.
Yeah, but it's quite a popular one. I'm not sure how it comes across to the States and other Australia and other clients as well. I know Xero accounting is getting quite a following here in the UK, but over in Australia and New Zealand, I think where its origins are, it's got a really good user base. They're very competitively priced. Big player, just getting up there with not quite up there with QuickBooks and so on and so forth. But yeah, Sage is also a big one, and especially here in the UK, it's been like the industry standard for a long time. I think QuickBooks has now taken the #1 slot, but they had to work at it to take it off Sage, so it's quite a big player over here.
Okay.
So, but of course, as the same with all the other packages, they used to have the desktop version. They're slowly but surely moving to the cloud, and the obviously the APIs are all cloud based rather than desktop integrations. So, but so what you would do, you've got your developer Intuit developer account. You would want to go to now. We want to go to where the applications are. Let me just go back one here. Where do I have my applications? Yes, okay, that one's signed out. We'll try the Explorer. Oh, actually, no, it's not that. I'll tell you what, let me just go back a level on the other screen though, and then I'll sign in afresh. Just 1 second. You kind of do these things all the time that you take them for granted, and then when it comes to asking the question, you have to think on your feet. So I'm just trying to be careful not to divulge my particular things here. So okay. Won't be a second, just preparing on the other screen. Oh, do you know what? Okay, right, I can. Okay, we're finally here. So what you would want to do, just make this a little wider. You've got your Intuit account. You then want to create under the My Apps and basically an application. So I've been testing with this particular one. We've probably used this in the past. Okay, so we'll probably just go on to this one, and we'll just rotate the secrets. So what you would do is create a brand new app. It would take you to basically this dashboard for this one single app. So you've logged in, you've gone to My Apps, you created a new app, given it a meaningful name, so on and so forth. Okay, then the first thing you would want to do is go to the keys. Now I'm going to, like I say, rotate these and so on. So from a recording point of view, it's kind of pointless if anyone's trying to get it back afterwards. But you would get some developer keys, and ultimately, and I'm not sure you would get some production keys, but only after you've completed a couple of more steps. So we're going to focus just on this part to start with. So you would automatically get the developer keys. That's great. It creates you a sandbox environment for you to play about with. I actually had it create me a few of them. So I've got a US sandbox and a couple of UK companies for playing about with that data. Once you've got that point, then the next thing you've got to look at is, because it uses OAuth 2, basically the application will want to shell out to some kind of browser to say, okay, here's the OAuth 2 screen of QuickBooks. It will authenticate you, of course, so on and so forth, using the particular keys. And then what it wants to do there is redirect you onto a particular entity for you to then accept the the token behind the scenes, and that is the true data token that you will use in your system. So when you're in sandbox mode, so this is just the developer keys, they will obviously, automatically create you one a built-in URL, which you can use in some of the tools here, like the API Previewer, API Explorer, sorry. And you will also want, let me just open up the example app. You could use localhost because it's the sandbox environment. So if I just go to here, go to Chilkat, just take a copy of that. That's intriguing. Seems to have cleared those. Okay, so basically you would, given what they've given you here, we'll copy that, and you can put your client ID in, your secret, you can put your secret in. Wants to know about the URL, and this is a redirect. So what's happened, what we're expecting here is we've asked for a connection, the OAuth2 window pops up, we go through the authentication process, and then it wants to redirect you. Now, if you're using a sandbox company, so a test company, you can use localhost, but it does want a port number as well. The two go hand in hand. So for testing, we can say, okay, it's port 3017. Whatever you're using for this redirect, you will need to put into this section here as basically an accepted redirection. So you can see here, they build theirs automatically in, and I've just specified http://localhost:3017 with a slash on the end. So technically, if I try that now, the application wants to connect out. On my other window, it's just asking me to log in, which I'll go here. That's the OAuth. I'll sign in. It's going to ask which company I want to play about with. It knows it's Sandbox, so I'll go with that one and I'll connect. It knows it's the NYS demo because that is the client secret and the client token. They're the tokens that we used. So now that was me probably being too long. So let's just do that again. Okay, connect. It's on the other screen now. Asking for the company 2, connect. And oh great, this is how no, let me get this right. Must have been that one which we had. Just let me just go back one. I'll take this off screen and I'll go on to my normal play company. Won't be a second. Okie dokie. Let's just move that one off. Okay. Should really practice this before today, but okay. We just switch back to one of the others. Won't be a second. I'm going to try this one instead. Do you know, I've been working on this all week, day in, day out. Right, okay. Won't be a second. Let me just play about, get some settings for you. Sorry about this. Nearly there. There we go. Right, okay. Complete hash of that again, but okay. So back to this, where I would expect, I better make sure I'm on the correct company, on the correct app. Okay, so back onto here. So you would be, as I say, you set these up. You've got that, you've got your secret, and then you've got, more importantly, these. Now, you can use the local host while you're just doing testing and so on. But, of course, the minute you've gone past that and you're ready for working with live companies, then you come down to the production area. They will, again, after a couple of steps, which I'll explain in a second, they'll give you those. The companies you're talking to happen to be live data then, not the test companies anymore. And the URLs also go different. And what you'll need to do is have a HTTPS redirect. So, of course, localhost can no longer provide that. There's no such thing as a secure local host. So, what you can do is host a little script yourself. There's various mechanisms to just do simple redirects, but it would have to be on a website what's got a HTTPS, basically a certificate. We've just put a very basic one on our website. So there's the actual URL. And what you can do is have that as one of your redirects. Absolutely no problem. We don't get your data. That script is ever so simple. Literally, I think it's 1 or 2 lines. And all it does is redirect it back to a local host. So the requirement for the HTTPS is purely a QuickBooks requirement. It's not an OAuth and so on and so forth. It's purely a QuickBooks requirement. So all we do is provide that and let you bounce it back to your own local host, giving you basically an application. Basically the output from it that will then give you your current access token and a refresh token, and that refresh token's good for something like 101 days. The access token's only good for 1 hour, but of course you can keep recalling that and refreshing it. So the main steps you have to do to be able to get your production keys are you complete these, you can test it against a local host at that point, or of course you could test against your own script or our script. And if you want a copy of our script, absolutely no problem. One, you'll be able to just get it off the website anyway, and 2, I can quickly post it to you. That's on an email. It's, like I say, it's 2 lines long. In order to be able to get your production keys, then they will also want you to go into your settings, and you basically have to give some what are your normal company's terms, license, end user license agreement, and your privacy policy, and you say which countries you want to be able to accept connections from. As soon as you've got given those two pieces of information with which countries, and I think there's a single sign-on which you don't particularly want to provide, so you say no to that. Once it recognises that you've got those entries on your account, then you go back to your keys tab, and you'll recognise that you'll then see that you've got your production keys provided to you as well, giving you access to whatever live companies you've got. So we've got a couple of live companies, and if we access with those keys, we're talking to either one of those companies, depending on which one we select. Does that make sense, or I just confuse you even more?
No, that looks good. It's a good start.
Yeah,
there's a lot for me to learn on this, but especially when my app goes production, meaning that people are going to download it, install it. I'll get to the point where how does each of the clients then, do I have to work with them each individually to set something up, or will it be parameter based where they purchase my product and they work with Intuit, and Intuit knows that my product is compatible as a developer, and they do some setup?
No, Intuit won't. Intuit provide you all this interface, but it would be up to individual companies, because it's only truly them who have got basically not necessarily a developer account, but have got a live account with them. So especially their production companies, like we've got a couple here, Noyantis and Exante. Test ones you can have as many as I don't think it's as many as you like, but you can have multiples of. But it would require your customers to go into the developer section of Intuit, and you can use your live login for that. It's not like you have to go and sign up a new account with Intuit. So if you've already got an account, admin at gmail.com and so on and so forth, and that with QuickBooks, then that same account, you can create your developer with that, and it'll recognize which companies you've given access to and so on and so forth. But because it's ultimately their account, they would have to go into these steps. Now we're going to create it. I don't think if I've done it on this one actually. Oh no, the Google Calendar. The next build, and I can send it you in advance, will have a write-up with the screenshots, basically saying, navigate here. These are your tests. Create your test company. Put these entries in. We'll probably use these as an example, to be fair, both that and our example of a redirect. Of course, you can provide your own, and you probably would do, to be fair. But it'll basically be a step-by-step guide to put this in, so on and so forth. And at the end of it, you should come out. So it will be a simple process, but it's something that the account holder of the QuickBooks account would have to achieve. So it would have to carry out and perform. Of course, if your customers trust you.
Does that mean? So does that mean? So they download, install my app. Will they be setting up? How will my app be? The properties that they're saying they're going to use, will they need to save into somewhere that I have provided them
yes.
A fewer space?
Yeah, like for example, a particular application here. Where are we? That's only a little. Yeah, let me have a quick look. This is just a little. Better make sure I don't reveal any keys actually, so I won't go into things. But this is just a little configuration app where we can say what we want this particular synchronizer application to do. But yes, basically we give them. I won't go into the login, but it goes into various different places. So we just give them a little configuration screen.
Oh, that's nice. Is that something that you guys are going to make available as a template, or configuration screen is key? That's really important. Because all I'm going to do is basically have medical. I'm going to have customers, which are patients. So those are the clients and customers, and then the claims are the invoices. So it's there's two things that I'm going to be dealing with that they're going to need to set up.
I could add a configuration screen to the actual template. The only thing you've got to remember there is, but that's more my problem than yours, is everything's got to be customizable from the wording from a multilingual point of view. So so of course, but yeah, basically putting a screen together with the key components that you need to really prompt for and save. I can knock something together and add it as part of the actual template. That's no problem.
Oh, that's cool. Thanks.
Okay. So just to recap, because I made a hash of it again, it's always to do. I don't even use a local host anymore, to be honest. But it's create yourself under My Apps. Create yourself an app that will naturally take you to the dashboard. Your steps will be get your developer keys. Create yourself a sandbox company, which you will automatically get a sandbox company. I think 99% sure you do. Put yourself in a couple of extra redirect URLs, the local host and some kind of redirect. And when I say that this script here is simple, I'll show you in a second. It's very, very simple. Get yourself those. Test your application so you can talk to the Play company. So I can download the general ledger accounts, as you call it, nominal ledger accounts, we call it in the UK, but basically the ledger accounts, or the supplier bills, the customers, the employees, the customer invoices. There's more actually supported in the next build. You've obviously got supplier bills, you've got suppliers, and you've got credit notes and supplier credits as well. So the customer credits are called credit memos, and supplier credits are called vendor credits. But all of those are supported as well. So there's not a week goes by that the actual work doesn't go on to the Chilkat at the moment, and it's growing all the time. So this next build, which will be out definitely this week as we do the next Kojak update, the next build of the Chilkat will also include these things as well, plus a whole host of zero facilities. So your credit notes, your general ledger accounts, currencies, tax rates are also queryable now. So yeah, you've got quite a lot of structures already pre-built for you. So it's very simple to download invoices. It's forget the method, I should bring it up. It's something like download invoice and it'll bring it down. Then you can download a singular invoice to get to its line details and so on. And then, of course, you can then play about and start updating, which then posts it back live to QuickBooks. So, and the general knowledge, if you will, if you're going to obviously start changing your own table structures to just in case you want to bring something down from QuickBooks, but you want to keep the link to what it is in QuickBooks, then basically they go in pairs. So they go on an ID and a synchronize token. So we can see here that is 125 and 10. Now, if I go to QuickBooks, so I'm over here, just 1 second, and I'll bring it in. So here we go. I'm QuickBooks here. I shall go to the Play company. I'm going to go to that particular sale. I'll keep it nice and simple. There's a Noyantis Play one. That's customers. Yeah, sorry, I want the sale. It's easier if I just go via the customer after all that. So we'll go to that one particular invoice. It happens to be on that account, I think. There it is, 1010E. I'm going to quickly just change that. I'll make it just nice and simple. I'll just change its reference. So -2 doesn't really matter. I'll save that. You want to modify it? Yes. If we now go back to our list in QuickBooks, we can see it's now got called 1010-2 in a wrong one. In ours, because it's the old one, but you recognise it's got an ID of 125 and the last sync token was 10. If I just go and re-download our list, it's seen that it's been changed online, but the sync token's gone up to 11. So basically, these go as a pair. The ID is always static, and it's really just like an increment. That's not just for invoices. The whole of QuickBooks API works on that same method. So if you're ever going to add like an external ID to your customer table, you really want to be adding two fields, the external ID and the external sync token. And that's true of a lot of APIs. Google Calendar works on exactly the same. You have an ID and you have an e-tag, which is like a revision, if you will. So if you're going to do your own table changes for your own system, you really be wanting to add two fields for it. So that's it. Okay, on the QuickBooks. Any others on?
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Andy. That's good. Good to see.
No problem whatsoever. And as I say, the library. Oh crikey! They do. You kind of take things for granted because you work on them all the time. But if I just quickly bring up the CK Task QuickBooks and the Chilkat, sorry, the Zero's got more or less the same. But from a structure point of view now, it's easier, but just jump down to the bottom. You've got your downloads of your account and accounts, because it'll sound silly. You've got plural, then singular, but the structures can be differently. If you query invoices, you might not get all the full detail, like the invoice lines and so on. Some accounting system APIs do, some don't. Like Xero doesn't. It'll provide surface information, and then when you download the singular, you get the detailed information. So that's why we always tackle it in pairs. So you've got your general ledger accounts, your supplier bills, customer memos, currencies, your customers, employees, your invoices, which are customer invoices, journal entries for your general ledger, suppliers or vendors, supplier credits, and your tax rates. So I think with that combination, it stands you in really, a good point. Probably the next one to add to that will be probably your stock items, and then you really will have good access to everything you want to do on a daily basis in QuickBooks. Okay, I think Bill just wanted to add. I know Bill does use the QuickBooks interface as well, so just bring Bill in. Bill, how are you doing?
Hey, pretty good. I just wanted to pass on to, I didn't catch who that was
Mark.
was asking the question, but if they're having to use account numbers in their setup, which is what I've been using all along, if you download their chart of accounts, it actually has a number associated with it, so you wouldn't have to force your user to assign account numbers to each item in their chart of accounts.
Okay.
Where previously what I was doing, and I still am, because most of my customers are using the
desktop,
the desktop version, I would have them do an account number instead of using the account description, because it is case sensitive, and if they added 2 or 3 accounts that could be identical, but the upper and lower case came into play, you could mess things up. Where now with their online version, you can you might have account number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's accounts receivable, but they may have a ID that there's your ID number.
Yeah, I was going to say they tried. Well, they've gone away from the traditional 1010, something being sales, as you say, and accounts receivable, and they've tried to go away from having that kind of ID, and all the other the actual true ID and the sync token, again going hand in hand, are just hidden from the user. But from us, from a
But you got to watch out, because like if you look at that one there, you go down number 3 there, billable expense income. Go one above that.
Yeah.
You've got a duplicate account of
billable expenses. And I'm trying to think.
And the only way
play company, or was that me? And I'll be honest, I'm not actually sure that was me.
But depending on how you're pushing that back to the system, if you're not using the ID number, you're going to have you've actually got a duplicate account there.
But with these methods, so let's say you was going to call the update here. At the general ledger, where are we? Update account. Then you prime up the group, and the groups are already created for you in their structure. So you can prime up the group, but you do pass it an action, and it's just a straightforward the equate insert record, change record, delete record. So if you was to pass it an insert record, then basically I think that's really of your choice. You're telling it you explicitly want a new account creating. If you was to pass it an ID, an update, but with an ID which didn't exist, it would actually report back to you and say that it can't find it. Likewise, if we go back to that particular invoice before, so we can see that is Sync 11. I'm going to actually just make it throw an error, which is something you would, a real error. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to change it externally, and I'm going to change it to Tash 3. So now, internally with QuickBooks, that will be Sync 12. But my system doesn't know it. I've not refreshed. The golden rule should be, if you go into update, re-download. Actually, I think I've set the example to do that. Probably a bad example. If I do update now, if I press change, it's automatically just brought down the very latest version for you so that I can go ahead and type it. But if I didn't, if I try sending the old, it's read only. If I'd tried updating with a sync token of 125.11, it would actually come back and tell me, can't do you. It's been changed elsewhere. It's a bit like the change by another user. Technically it is, but because it's cloud-based, the user could be literally anywhere in the world. But it will report the error. So some of it comes down to what we want to do. If we're explicitly telling it to insert a record, it's going to go ahead and insert the record as long as it meets the minimum requirements as per their API reference. But if we're telling it to update, then it will at least validate that what we're passing it is correct from an ID point of view, from a sync and an ID. So the key thing there is the ID is kind of static once it's been created. The sync token changes with each iteration. So the golden rule, you can see what I would definitely suggest is, if you want to, on your system, give them a live link to it, updating a record, just automatically call the update first. Sorry, the download first of that one entity. You don't have to download all, you can download just one. So here it would be download invoice. You already know what ID it is and so on. So just bring down the one. So that's how I would approach it personally.
Yeah, no, I was just mentioning that for like I've done uploads to QuickBooks for a number of years now to the online or the desktop version, and we don't get any duplicates in the chart of accounts because we actually turn on the use account numbers. Where if you look at that one back to that chart of accounts that you had, they've actually created two accounts. That
oh yes,
if you're just using the sys ID, they 68 and 82 are actually the same thing.
Yes, agreed. And I'm not sure whether that was me or them.
Well, no, it would. They don't care. That's the problem with QuickBooks is they.
Oh, I meant in me with testing point of view. This is just play data.
No, you're right, but it's they don't because they don't use an account number. System,
like the old
general ledger account number.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Then you could easily add extra accounts to your chart of accounts.
Oh, you're correct. It's something to keep an eye on, of course. You don't want because they've done away with that, and like you say, the name by itself isn't really sufficient. If you was retrofitting this into a system, then at some stage someone's going to have to do some kind of manual marry-up, if you will. So in your system, your existing system, localized ledgers, you have got billable expenses income, and that's where you'd be wanting to tie it to just one single account up at QuickBooks. So
yeah, you can still turn on the in the QuickBooks under the company setup. You can even on the cloud version, you can still turn on the Force GL code.
Oh, okay. It's not really something I'm playing about with, to be honest.
Yeah, and by doing that, you kind of eliminate having to go by the description, because what they've done is they've gone by the description, and the more people involved, the more chance you have is like you did there. Somebody decided it was an expenses versus an expense, and it should have been just one account. And then the next thing you know, somebody else is going to come in and have uppercase letters, and it's going to create a third account.
Yeah, so no, it's definitely something to keep. Yeah,
it really needs to be watched, is what I'm pointing out.
No, agreed. No, definitely agree. The main thing I was saying was, if there isn't some kind of matching up gone on and so on, then from our point of view, if our software's told it to explicitly go and create a brand new account through error, of course, like you say, then it's done what it's told. It's gone ahead and it's gone and created the external account. But what would have been better would be some kind of some marrying up. So when you're trying to retrofit, and it's the same as QuickBooks, hell, it could be anything. If you're trying to retrofit an online system or a second system into yours, there's going to be at some point some kind of intervention to say, okay, I know it as this, they know it as that, but they are essentially the same item, and so on and so forth. So there's always going to be that kind of marry up. And that's what I was saying about the once you've done that, the thing you'd want to be storing in your tables is a combination of these two.
Yeah, no, I wasn't meaning it. I wasn't meaning it in the sense of an error on your part or the part of the program.
Oh no, it's just something to watch out for.
Actually,
it is a perfectly
actually a problem
point
within QuickBooks that you have to watch out for.
Yeah, no.
If you use Sage accounting, they force you to use general ledger account codes.
Right. I saw your message before. So Sage was called Peachtree, was it, in the US?
That's correct.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it was Peachtree, and then they merged. There was actually two companies. One was Sage in the UK and Peachtree in the US. And then somewhere along the line, the two either merged or became, there might have been one. It might have been one company and had two different products, but somehow the two finally came up using the same name.
Well, I know. Unless they've changed it, because I used to use Sage 1, which is a cloud-based system, but I thought they was actually trying to rebrand. Yeah, Sage Business Clouding Accounting. Right, so it's not Sage 1 anymore. Oh, although the website still technically is. But basically, this is. I do actually think they're changing it from Sage 1 and they're just rebranding it. So that will probably filter its way through, but it all comes under the Sage. Sage name, if you will.
Right, now it does here in the U.S. as well.
Yeah.
But previously in the U.S. it was under Peachtree.
That's good to know. So if anybody asks me, it
was Peachtree by Sage. So.
Oh, okay.
But somewhere along the line they finally put the word Sage in there, and then they ended up taking it out or taking the Peachtree out altogether. And if you buy a new version, it'll come out as Sage.
Well, I would say we was using this, and it was Sage 1, and the website still technically is Sage 1, but I think they've dropped the 1 now as well, and it's becoming Sage Business Cloud. So I think they want to make their minds up, don't they?
But in the at least I haven't tried the online version, but the
It's
the
pretty good.
desktop version still requires an account number, but it was a lot more complicated to do the
The
update.
online version is, I mean, they're all very similar. Zero, Sage, QuickBooks. I haven't tried MYOB, mind your own business, but that's also another popular one. So we'll probably the plan is Sage will be next, and then mind your own business will follow shortly afterwards. But it will be these same methods. So you will have the usual download and whatever they call them, be it tax
Right.
rates or currency codes, that kind of thing. So we try and keep the naming conventions in line with the APIs that you're looking at. So if I'm looking at the API reference here of QuickBooks, and we have a look, we can see they call them credit memos. So our download is download credit memo, and the group structure is a credit memo. If we go to Zero, then it's not that. They call it they're just credit notes, but it's the same structure for both general ledger, accounts receivable and accounts payable. So we just try and keep the same naming conventions as the API you're relating to, so that if you're looking online at some particular documents, then it should really flow through to our product as well.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I just wanted to point out that it's real easy on QuickBooks to if you don't have some kind of a template on your side or to make it all match up, that you don't end up with duplicates.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, and it was definitely worth pointing out, because you can be caught out, and evidently, I'm not sure, like I say, if that was me playing about or them playing about, but that's definitely happened. Chances are it was me, but I don't know. Okay, so I know we've got a question and it's to do with the calendar actually. So let's come off. Is any more questions on the Chilkat or QuickBooks and so on before we move on? No, although Peter was saying, wait till they add the parsley and rosemary. Yes, because that'll probably come out in the next version, Peter. They do seem to have changed the name quite a lot to Sage. Okay, so Conchi. Hi, can you hear us?
Hello, good evening.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hi. Fine.
Okay.
I am at home.
Oh, very good.
With grippe.
So, you had a question relating to the calendar. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I like the font size.
Right. So I think I know. Well, let me just get set up here as an example, and I'll bring in the example calendar so we can take a look. Tenth.
Alex, can you me help with English?
I'll speak slowly. Webinars. That. Oh. Okay, so let's just run this and then I'll go into one of the examples. Okay, so if we take this, for example, you want to change the font within here?
Yes.
For just one event, not all events. Is that correct?
Yes, not all the things.
Just
Only
that one.
only this. Yes.
Okay. Now I will check. I think it can be done, but it could be difficult. Let me just check for you. Okay, so no. Okay, so this one event here is from the CodeJock point of view. That is one event. So we go to here and we look at the calendar event object. These are the properties that we can get to.
Yes.
The label, the body, but you cannot change just the font. So we've got subject. This there is a subject. There is the body, but you can't change just the font. What you would have to do is use a system called XAML. Are you familiar with XAML? Okay, I'll just open Alejandro's up just in case he can. Hi, Alejandro.
Hello, Andy. How are you?
Yes, good. You?
Very well, very well.
Okay, so I was just explaining that the actual CodeJock event doesn't support the font attribute for the individual event. For example, this event here. Okay, so we can only work to this. But what they do provide is a system called XAML, which is the markup language.
Yes, Markup.
Yep.
Yes.
So now if we look here, we can see this has bold, color.
Yes, we can change everything with the XAML.
But you would have to do change to that. So, for example, let me open the database. Okay. So the event on one of those examples is buy templates, and it is probably wrong example. Register buy templates. There you go. That record is there. Buy more templates. For XAML, I'll just find the field. You store it. You have to load it differently. Okay, so here, this example. Oh, not that one. That example is here. And if I just open that, that is XAML. So you have to create it in the full like text block. That's the only way you can do it. Yes.
You have in the folder of the CodeJock the markup editor, and we can see there.
Okay.
Conchis.
Okay.
You want to see, Conchi?
Yes. I have made one more. Hace dos meses que lo hice. Que con un solo, una línea de código podía cambiar el grande del font. Pero de repente ya no lo encuentro. Encontré en todos los los tutoriales esos que hay de aquí, de Code Job y de eso, encontré una línea y ahora no la encuentro.
Utils, Andy.
Ah,
Yes, that is markup path.
okay, so we can see here is XAML,
Mhm.
and there is what you would see for the event. So, for example, let's just change some of this. You see, I don't use that. I have yeah.
Yes, I use the same too.
Yes. Probably under here, actually. So now we can change some of the actual XAML padding size. So we change that. Oops. Changed it a little. But you would have to tackle, if you wanted to be able to change just the little elements, you would have to store it as XAML. And in the template, we want to go to the calendar, appearance. Yep, appearance.
I think that is in the code, in the embed code.
Well, you
Yes, because it's manually load.
Oh, it's definitely yes, manually load. So in here, insert from group, and the field was markup. Okay, and we see here, if there is markup text, then we call that method. So we still insert the event, but then you call set event markup text. The ID and the markup text.
Okay. Oh,
escribir. ¿No?
Espera que lo copio.
Haz un print screen.
Yeah,
Make a short screen.
It's in the example, but yes, I'll do the email.
Moment, please.
No, no
please.
problem. I'm emailing it.
Okay. I am at home all the week.
Oh, okay.
I am with grip at the bed.
So
okay, I print.
There.
I print. Yes, I make a test. Okay.
But in the
okay.
But the description, we have to take the markup, so the XAML code. That's true, Andy?
Yes.
Okay.
For that event, okay, so that same record, if we look in here, there's the markup.
Yes, excellent.
If we go look at the normal fields, so we do have markup example for the subject. Now if we, where is it here? This example loads XAML.
Yes.
This example doesn't. So that's why we still see the subject, but no XAML.
Okay.
So what you can do in the example is still still give it a description, and that will at least show if you haven't got the XAML correct.
Perfect.
Ujú.
¿Entendiste, Conchi?
Sí, sí, más o menos sí.
Ok.
Pregúntale, eso que ha abierto al principio, esa lista, donde estaban el pod y todo eso, y lo que se puede hacer con ellos, ¿esa lista está en algún sitio? ¿Me la puedes dejar?
¿El programa?
No, él tenía ahora ahí, al principio abierto una lista, como un tutorial, donde ponía todos los sujetos y todo esto al principio. La lista esa.
You are telling about the. No, she's speaking about that you open it CLW where you have all of method and property, but this is another thing. This is the QuickBooks.
Oh, okay.
Yes. See. But it's okay, Andy. I will explain to Conchi later. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yes.
The where are we? The calendar. We'll just find it. NS. Okay. So in the Calendar Pro Inc., you would want markup, set event markup text. Take a look at that one.
Okay. I like to. Quería buscar en algún sitio donde saliera esto, ¿sabes?
Yo te explico luego. I will
Vale.
tell her where is this file, everything. Don't worry.
Sí.
This file is in the accessory libsource.
Y antes de esto tenía otra lista.
So it would be your Clarion
Yes.
accessory libsource win.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Calendar Pro Inc. Inc. Okay.
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 Very good.
¿Tienes otra pregunta?
Nada más que es que no sé si enseñárselo. Cuando abre, ¿sabes eso que tengo yo? Que abre, cuando acaba, empieza el proceso y empieza a salir el calendario diferentes, que siempre me hace uno rojo anterior, que se ve uno rojo, que abre uno vacío. Pero eso lo podemos ver nosotros.
Lo vemos esos puntos para que no... Primero lo analicen.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Andy.
Good,
Okay.
thank you.
No, thank you. You're welcome.
Andy, a question. Sorry.
Of course.
Before I forget. Did you see the new Kojak 18.6?
Yes, I have it. I have it.
Do you know if the print preview is solved?
I don't know yet. Should we try?
Okay.
Oh, actually, no. I need to do a change on mine. I will let you know this week. I'll let you know on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just changed
Actually,
the fix in the template, but doesn't work for me. But I don't know if it's working. But okay, let me know if you can.
Well, we'll try now. We'll try. Just 1 second.
Okay.
We'll try.
Yes.
29, 10, 18. Okay. So report control. Okay. This is a new navigation I was just doing while we're waiting for that. This is using the task panel with the tree.
Excellent. Nice.
Yeah. Okay. So print to preview. Okay. Preview. Yes. Preview. Oh, that looks good.
Yes.
Did I print?
Did you open and close again? That's true? That's right?
Oh, I'll try. I'll try. Just 1 second. Okay, we've got that. Close. Go back in. Oh.
No way.
No.
Yes, I have the same problem.
Wow.
But it's very strange, because it's just one method.
Yeah,
You don't have to
the
set
thing is very
any
simple.
other parameter.
Well, that's poor. We need to speak to them. If I do that, okay, that. No. No. So no, it's still faulty.
Yes. It's very strange.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Andy.
No problem. Speak soon. Okay, so we have a couple of questions from Bijan, and I think we'll be okay with time. So where are we? Hi, Bijan. Hi, how are you doing?
How are you? Good, good. How have you been?
Yes, good. Busy, but good.
Good. Yes, I wanted to find out about QuickBooks Online, and have you been doing any more work with that product?
Oh yes, you've just missed it. We've just
Oh, you did? Okay. Sorry,
we've done some today, but yes, lots more work.
Good.
I'll quickly show you what I was saying before. Where are we? Task. There we go. QuickBooks. So now you've got all the structures pre-made for you, and you now have general ledger accounts, supplier bills, customer credit notes, currencies, customers, employees, customer invoices, general ledger journals, suppliers, supplier credit notes, and tax rates.
I see. The area that I need to work on is synchronizing the invoices in my app with QuickBooks Online, and then also the payments that are received against those invoices. I need to be able to post those and make sure that they're in sync in both systems.
Actually, yeah, you make a good point. Yeah, I said supplier bills in there, but I never actually brought the payment down. But yeah, I can bring the payment down because the next one I was gonna do there actually is stock. But yes, we do need payments. You will actually get when you bring down the invoice, one of the entities you get is this linked transaction queue. So you can say, okay, I've got an invoice for $1,000 and it's paid off $200, $300, and $500, and it would populate the queue of which transactions were linked to it from an allocation point of view. So yeah, I'll put the bill payments in there as well, both customer and supplier, and that'll round that off. And it's not only that, the Zero interface also has the same now.
Yes. I've been using, QuickBooks Connect up to now, but a lot of our customers are moving to QuickBooks Online. Mm-hmm. And since there's not much support for QuickBooks Connect anymore, I think that I definitely need to move to that area. Yes. No, I have QuickBooks Desktop myself. So as a developer, do you have to have a paid account with QuickBooks to be able to do some testing or?
No, definitely not. No, I'll convert the video at the end of this rather than us go back through it. But we just covered this exact the connection element earlier. But great. If you already have a QuickBooks Online account, then you link that to your developer account, and that's fine. You can then get to some test data as well as live data and so on. If you don't have that and you only want to be able to just do development, then you just sign up for a free developer account with them. It just means you won't be able to get to production data because you don't have any accounts data with them. You only have play data, development data. Yes. But that's fine.
Yes, thanks. And then also, yes, I'll do that. Thank you. Then the other question was on the report control. You were working on, adding some support for like conflicts and
clashes. Yes, conflicts. Actually, conflicts is better than clash. Maybe I might rename it. Yes. So yes, we if you remember, we did one update a couple of months ago now, where it can detect. But the next one, which I did actually say would be out by now, the next build will give you the option to automatically add a child row for the conflicted row. So this is for the track bar, if you remember. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
So yes, basically where you have and some work's been done on that. It's just I've got quite a few changes all to release at the same time. This week you will definitely 100% see some updates come out. The CodeJock 18.6, that report control conflict. I am going to change the wording to conflict rather than clash. But yes, basically the previous option had allow and don't allow, and then now you have allow with a warning, and it prompts you for the wording because of course of multilingual, and then allow add a child row, and it automatically adds you a child row.
Right.
So you will get that this week. Also,
awesome.
I think I said there's no updates have been released, but let me see if I can just find what I was working on. So you use the HTML editor, is that correct?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
Okay, well, you've got an update coming to that, and the same update for the CodeJock web browser. So if anybody uses the HTML editor or the CodeJock web browser, then you might like this. It doesn't really matter. Let's go on to that one. So basically, now if you do the tab key, it will recognize where you are. So I'm here, and I will tab through the controls. But if I'm here, it will now recognize the tab and take you through, which it didn't do before. So
I was having problems with that, yeah.
Yep, so now it will do that. And also, it's not really on that one. Maybe it was on that one. Was it that one? Maybe it wasn't that one. Let me try. Click. Yeah. Okay, so on here, we can type in if we press the enter key, it will find you the next, including where you are, the next submit control, and it will emulate the click for you automatically as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, great.
So yes, so that's now taken care of both in the CodeJock browser, which is this one here, and there's your tab, and of course in the HTML editor. And they're no longer called NBit. They've rebranded, and they are called Drupal. I don't know if you are aware of that.
Oh no, I didn't know that. No.
So they are. Where are they? Noyantis. Drupal Tech.
Oh, okay.
So they've rebranded, so the templates will be rebranded accordingly, but they've still got the HTML editor, and he has actually asked me if there's any updates needed to the actual product. He's now putting time into it, so that's good to know. So it is being worked on again.
One thing I noticed, I was working on it last weekend. I was sending an email out, and I was doing a shift enter. And I noticed that when you do a shift enter on the version that I have, obviously, it was cutting off the bottom portion of my my email. Do you know what might have caused that? I finally figured out it was the shift enter that was doing it, and I stopped using shift enter because I used to use shift enter on other editors, other HTML editors, and usually it just gives you one single line, right? And it goes to the next line. But I noticed that if I do that, mine is an older version of Embeds, and it was cutting off the bottom portion for some reason. Do you know what may have caused that?
No, it shouldn't do. I mean, you do have. Let me have a look here. A, B, shift enter. No, it should just be giving you a single. I mean, you have got settings in there to say enter equals break.
Yes, I have to check that. Like, you're right. Yes, that's something that I also
I do
thought
have that turned on. So if we look at the inner HTML, I would expect to see breaks in there, but you can turn that functionality on or off.
Let me see what mine is. Yeah, I think that might be the problem actually. Let me see what mine setting is here. And bits. That's at the procedure level.
It's
so,
on the procedure on the template. I think it's on the first tab. I think is it. If we take a look here, editor.
At first, I thought it was the size of my text field, my HTML field. It wasn't. Oh yes, treat enter key as
break. Oh, I know. I have my turn on actually.
Mine wasn't checked either. So let's see what appearance.
Oh, I see that. That's better. So that is just like the.
Yes, I think I should probably turn that on. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this the newer version that you're working with right now?
This is the newer version. There's quite a lot of work inside, all to do with accessing the actual raw DOM object. So if I just quickly show you, you might not be interested, but quickly show you some of the actual new changes. And now we've got so we can make it click an element within the actual raw DOM object, focus an element, so you can use that for the tabbing, and you've got all these options open to you. So get the active element, get it by an ID. So basically what it does is it parses the actual content. So if we have a look in here, say for the tab key, then what it does, it parses the actual content, builds a queue of DOM objects, and then DOM elements, and then navigates to the next one automatically.
I see. Cool.
But with DOM objects, you can do so much, so it's quite powerful. So you can get it to manipulate the actual raw DOM quite a lot.
So in order to get the new version, do we just subscribe to your? I mean, well, I'm already subscribed.
I was going to say, I think we have the update again. That's out. Actually, somebody's using that live. So yes, basically that will go out in this next week. This next week will be a whole host of updates released.
So we don't need to buy anything from Zoopla.tech or Zoopla.tech?
No. Just download the new template and compile.
Okay. I think we lost you.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, we can hear now.
Oh, sorry. Yes, no. Just download and recompile, and you'll be good to go.
Great. Thanks a lot. Yeah, this is going to be. Now, the last thing I was going to ask you on that is it still? Does it still require Microsoft Office for the spell checking, or?
Yes, at the moment. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things we can ask him, because now he's in the process of doing some changes to it. So
yes. Because the issue that I have is that like with our systems, I can't be installing Office on every server. It's not possible.
No. I wonder if we could try and tie that in via the DOM. Let me have a look at that. I mean, I don't know. It'll still go via some kind of other service, but. Yeah, that'd be an interesting.
Yeah, because I find myself in there like all the time now. It's because we just use it as the standard editor almost in our app.
Right.
So it's like for me it's okay because on my local machine I have Office, but for our clients, it's not.
No, it would be better if it was fully self-contained.
Yeah,
definitely.
That'd be great. Great, awesome, good.
Okay, right. Well, we are almost on time, so that's pretty good. I don't think there's any other questions, unless anybody's got any quick questions. If not, we shall wrap it up. I'll convert the video and get it posted up on the YouTube channel.
Great, thank you.
Cool. Right. Okay then. Well, thank you everybody for attending. Hopefully it's been an entertaining one, and I shall see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.